Hi, everybody, and you probably thought that you were done with the two of us. With Tyson, Nash, I'm Matt McConnell. We're going to take a look over the next little while for ArizonaCoyotes.com at some of the highlights, Tyson, over this past season for the Arizona Coyotes.
Here's another chance. Ekman-Larsson, he scores! Oliver Ekman-Larsson!
You know, let's start right at opening night. The Coyotes had that long trip, remember, back east, but they started the season with a big win over the Philadelphia Flyers.
Always nice to win the home opener in front of your fans, but I think more importantly as a player, you want to start the season off on the right note. You want to get some confidence. And always fun to get the crowd, you know, in your back pocket when the season starts.
Remember that shootout? The 11-round shootout win. Louis Domingue, something about LA. He was drafted in LA. He loves playing at Staples Center. That might be overall my biggest highlight of the season.
D'Angelo is in. He scores!
You were excited that night, and rightfully so. I mean, that is entertainment at its best. You didn't want it to end, and when it finally ended, obviously the Coyotes came out on the right side of that win. Again, just a real exciting night, and you know, a look into the future and why we get so excited as broadcasters.
He'll bring it back. Connor Murphy over the line, he scores!
No doubt about it, and along the way they sprinkled in some big wins too against quality opponents. They took down the Washington Capitals. Stanley Cup finalist Pittsburgh, they have not won at Gila River Arena in a couple of years. So, I mean, marquee wins for sure, not to mention the big win in Philadelphia way back at the beginning of the season as well.
Right, yeah, there was a ton of wins, and I think that was the frustrating part, you know, as broadcasters and probably as coaches and players, that you see this team, this young team, go into some of these buildings and take down some of these heavyweights in the NHL, as you mentioned, the Penguins, the Washington Capitals, and you know, to see them dominate and play to that level, that's kind of what you expect of them, and that's you know that it's there. You know they have it. You know they can play to that level, and again, that's what gets us excited as broadcasters. And you know, we obviously didn't see it enough. Coyotes didn't make the playoffs last year, but still so much to be excited about that they're going to get to that level and they're going to stay at that level.
Back up in over the line, shot right to the net. He's stopped by Smith. What a stop!
You know, another moment too, Mike Smith. And he's had so many great moments for the Coyotes over the past 6 seasons, Tyson. But the 58 save performance against Columbus has to be, what would you say, top 2, top 3 in his tenure here?
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me back when the Coyotes took down Chicago in round 1, and the performance that he had. I mean, you couldn't get a puck by him. And that is the Mike Smith that we saw a lot of last year. I mean, this guy was an all-star last year, and rightfully so. You hope that he can get that back next year and pick up where he left off, because he was brilliant, and for sure, 58 saves. I know it was a loss, but you couldn't get a grease BB by you.
In the season finale, a real emotional night. Craig Cunningham out to drop the ceremonial faceoff. Great to see Craig back after a near-death experience in Tucson in November. But not only Craig, but you know, Martin Hanzal coming back with the Minnesota Wild, the ceremonial faceoff. It was kind of a real nice capper, I think, to the entire season.
Yeah, Martin Hanzal was a huge part of the Coyotes for a long, long time. So to see him come back, the crowd, the response that he got was huge. But nothing tops Craig Cunningham coming out to be a part of it, what he went through, to see where he's at right now, and in the future, he's part of this Coyotes organization. That's huge. It's first-class move by the Arizona Coyotes, and to have a guy like Craig with his hockey knowledge, his hunger, his work ethic is going to be big.